I couldn't believe I was doing this. Stealing? No. Borrowing $1 million horse since my entire future depended on it. Come on, boy. Let's go. Somehow, the horse decided to neigh at that moment. Shh! Do you want us both arrested? We were almost halfway out when a harsh beam of light blasted into my face.
Hey! What are you doing?
Nothing. This is a dream. Go back to sleep.
Are you seriously trying to steal my boss's $1 million horse?
More like aggressively borrowing? Suddenly, the stable alarms blared and the lights flickered on. Okay, Thunderbolt, new plan. You pick someone, we run. Just then, sirens wailed in the distance. Thunderbolt panicked and kicked up his front legs. I stumbled back and landed flat on my butt, right under his hooves. This was it. This was how I was gonna die. Crushed by a celebrity horse and flattened like a sad pancake. I closed my eyes, waiting for my end, but then someone grabbed me and yanked me out of the way. Slowly, I looked up, my heart still in my throat. Maverick? Hi, I'm Sky, and this moment right here turned my entire world upside down. But to really understand what's going on, let's start from the beginning. I grew up with a content creator mom who filmed everything, but somehow never had time to help me with homework. Not that I cared. I hated homework anyway. I just copied off Cody, my genius best friend, and the cute boy next door. He was my hype man, my partner in crime. And when we weren't dodging school drama or surviving mom's meltdowns, we hung out at the local ranch where I rode horse, while he snapped pics for his blog. By the time I was 17, I was obsessed with horse racing. I dreamt of going pro one day, but Mom kept ruining everything. Ugh, I can't believe she posted another Get Ready With Me TikTok in my boots.
Easy, calm down before you ignite the hay bales. Now smile and give me that future champion look. Yes, perfect. Oh, no.
What? Do I have horse snot on my face again?
Worse, you've got Mom at 3 o'clock.
And there she was, wearing a sequined cowboy outfit, straddling a stack of hay bales like she was auditioning for Real Housewives of the Rodeo while her glam team kept the cameras flashing. Mom! What on earth are you doing?
It's called content, darling. And this lighting is to die for.
Of all the places, you chose here? You just had to make this about you again. I'm supposed to be training, not dodging your glam squad and their ring lights.
Oh, please, Sky, you're not even that good at racing anyway.
Oh, she did not. I needed out. Out of her shadow, her nonsense, the whole glitter-infested circus. So I ran. No saddle, no helmet, no hesitation.
Sky, don't! That's a bad idea!
But it was too late. The horse was already fully locked in and ready to rocket me to another planet. I didn't care where I was going, just anywhere away from Mom. I rode into the woods, got scratched by every angry branch. Then my horse spooked at a creek and decided to toss me in it. So there I was, soaked and lying flat on my back, when I heard it. Hooves. Then I suddenly heard a horse's neigh from afar. I looked up, and boom. A stunning black stallion and a man straight out of a perfume ad. Either I had a concussion, or I was being rescued by a real-life cowboy. He swung off his horse like a movie hero and walked right into the creek to lift me out.
You always ride like you've got a death wish?
Do I know you? Something about him was familiar.
Probably. I'm Maverick. And this is Thunderbolt.
No way! The Maverick? The Thunderbolt? Horse racing legends! Actual icons. They had more trophies than my mom had face serums. What were they doing in my dusty little world? As we walked back toward the ranch, I tried not to hyperventilate like a total fangirl. Okay, wow. You're Maverick. And I'm Sky. This is Buttercup. She hates water and authority. Also, I'm a huge fan. What are you doing in my town?
Wow, you talk a lot.
Adrenaline and admiration. Mostly adrenaline.
I'm helping organize the Dust Valley Classic. It's a regional qualifier for the Nationals.
Wait, that's happening here? At this ranch?
Yep, next month. Top riders, big money. Are you thinking of entering?
I mean, yeah, eventually. I've been training for years, but I didn't think something this huge would ever land here.
Well, it's here now, and judging by today, you've got guts. Now all you need is control.
I couldn't believe it. A major competition, organized by Maverick. Thunderbolt was also in the same barn as Buttercup. This is what my dreams were made of. I was up in the clouds, dreaming about winning the contest and becoming the world's best horse racer, when suddenly I opened my eyes to see Mom was right in front of my face, fuming. Sky! Are you crazy? You could have died! I'm fine, Mom. Maverick helped me. The moment I said his name, Mom's face went pale and she took a few steps back. I'd never seen her like this. Sky, we're leaving. Now! But he literally saved me, and he's— I don't care. Let's go. She dragged me to her car despite all my protest. I tried questioning her on the way home, but she ignored me. Clearly, she was hiding something between her and Maverick. So naturally, I started digging. That night, I went down a Maverick rabbit hole. I watched every race, every interview, anything I could find. But hours later, I still hadn't found any connection to my mom. Not ready to give up, I called Cody and asked for his help. He was a genius, after all. Sure enough, the next day in class, Cody dropped a total bombshell.
Sky, I need to show you something.
He pulled out his phone and handed it to me. On the screen was a photo of Maverick holding a baby next to my mom. My stomach dropped. Shut the front door! Wait, where did you even get this?
Doesn't matter. Focus, Sky. You know what this means, right?
Oh, I knew. My mind was going to explode any second now. Yeah, Maverick might be my dad! Cody, you beautiful, crazy genius! Thank you! I flung my arms around him without thinking. And sure, we've hugged like a million times before, but this one felt different. It was warm, weird, and my heart, it was doing that flip thing.
So, what now?
I don't know yet. But this has to be why Mom was acting so strange that day. I need to get the real story first. And that's how it all began. I started going to the ranch every day. Half for horse training, half for Operation Is Maverick My Dad? And let's just say, we got along really quickly. I was riding my horse Buttercup and jumping hurdles as Maverick watched and taught me.
You're pretty good for a rookie.
I'm not a rookie. I've actually been in some junior competitions.
Then maybe it's time to take another step up the ladder. If you're anything like me, you'll win on your first run.
That's such a dad thing to say. For a split second, I wanted to blurt out, "Are you my dad?" But I didn't want to jump the gun too soon. So I stayed quiet and waited for more solid evidence. For weeks, I trained like my life depended on it. Like every lap might unlock the truth. If Maverick didn't know I was his daughter, I was going to impress it out of him. But I got nothing. Even Cody thought I was crazy. I felt so frustrated having to keep this all inside. Maybe that's why I kept walking without even noticing where I was going.
Slow down, Sky. I'm worried about you.
I need him to see that I'm perfect enough to be his daughter.
Hey, look at me. You're enough, okay?
His hand was warm on my cheek, and my heart melted under his gaze. With Cody by my side, I felt unstoppable. Until a few days into the competition, boom. Huge entry fee. I was crushed. I tried talking to Mom, right in the middle of one of her ridiculous outfit sessions for her next iconic horse ranch photo shoot. But of course, she just got meaner.
You really think you're gonna win this thing? Don't be ridiculous, Sky.
I've gotten really good at it, Mom. Maverick even says,
"That's enough. Either drop out or figure it out on your own. I've given up enough already."
Then she walked away from me in one of those flashy outfits. Again. Ugh, couldn't she just hear me out a bit more? But I wasn't going to give up, so I headed straight to the one person I hoped would help. Where is Maverick?
He went out of town and won't be back for a few days.
No! He was my last hope! I tried calling him, but it went straight to voicemail. Devastated, I went to say goodbye to Buttercup. But then I saw Thunderbolt and had a brilliant idea. If I showed up with Thunderbolt, maybe the organizers would assume I was Maverick's daughter. Maybe they'd let me compete on credit. No questions asked. Not my smartest move. But I wasn't planning to keep him. I'd return everything right after. Too bad you already know how it ends. I didn't even make it out of the stable.
Are you trying to steal? After everything I've done for you, this is how you thank me? I'm calling your mother.
Wait! No, this isn't what I meant to do! I was just borrowing it. Please don't call my mom. I was shaking. But then I realized if Mom came, I might finally get the answers I'd been waiting for. Yeah, maybe you should call her. Who knows? I might just do it again anyway. Maverick hesitated, clearly confused, but he still went ahead and called my mom. Minutes later, Mom arrived, and as expected, she walked past Maverick.
Talia? Sky, I'm very disappointed in you. We will discuss this at home. I'm sorry, sir. Please forgive my daughter's behavior. I'll cover any damages. Goodbye.
With that, she tried to drag me to the car, but that wasn't the answer I was looking for. Wait a minute! I'm not going anywhere. Not until you both tell me the truth. They both turned, confused, and that only made me more annoyed. You don't have to keep pretending. I know, okay? I know Maverick is my dad. Both of them still didn't say anything. Maverick, I'm sorry I tried to steal Thunderbolt. I just wanted to prove myself. But I also hope that maybe, if you saw me win, you'd finally admit I'm your daughter. Then suddenly, they laughed.
You think I'm your father? That's hilarious.
I have proof. I showed them the photo from Cody's search, and that's when they looked at each other and realized I was serious.
Sky, let's take this outside.
We stepped outside. My heart was pounding. And then she dropped it.
Sky, Maverick is not your father, and I'm not your mother. I'm actually your sister.
Wait, what? I froze, hoping I'd misheard her. Maybe she said something like that, but nope. She kept going.
Our parents died in a car crash when you were a baby. I was 17, barely an adult, but I couldn't let anyone take you, so I lied. I signed papers, moved us away, became mom, and then I stayed that way because I didn't know how to undo it.
But Maverick
was my high school sweetheart. When our parents died, he was ready to help me raise you, but he was about to go pro, and I knew raising a child would take up all his time, all his focus. He wouldn't stand a chance at that life if he stayed with me. So I made the hardest choice of my life. I left, without telling him. That photo, it was taken the last day we were together.
So that's why you never let me ride? Because you didn't want to run into Maverick?
It wasn't fair to you, but yes.
My head was spinning. I'd spent my life calling her a bad mom, while she gave up everything for me. Overwhelmed, I ran. I curled up on the old couch in the treehouse for hours. But of course, Cody found me. He didn't say anything when he climbed up, just sat beside me in silence and let me cry it out. Then I told him everything.
Wow, that's a lot.
I feel so humiliated. Maverick must think I'm stupid. And Talia. I've been so hard on her and I didn't even know the truth.
Hey, you are not stupid. Got it? You just wanted answers. And now that you have them, maybe it's a good thing.
I leaned my head on his shoulder. And somewhere between the weight of it all and the warmth of being seen, I fell asleep. Next thing I knew, a sharp neigh jolted me awake. I sat up, rubbing my eyes, and blinked. There, right below the treehouse, stood Maverick and Talia, and with them were Thunderbolt and Buttercup.
What? Sky, I know we have a lot to discuss, but right now, you've got a competition to win. So, let's go!
I still had so many questions. Like, how had she agreed to this? But all that could wait, because she was right. I had a competition to win. Everything happened fast after that. Turns out, Talia and Maverick had talked things through, and it seemed like he had forgiven me for what I did. In fact, he had already registered me as his protégé, before I even tried to borrow Thunderbolt. The moment I mounted Buttercup, the noise faded. The doubts disappeared. It was just us and the track. A few minutes later, I crossed the finish line to the sound of the crowd exploding. Cody snapping a million photos, Talia and Maverick cheering in the stands. After the trophy ceremony, I was brushing Buttercup when Talia appeared quietly in the doorway. You were incredible out there, Sky. I'm so proud of you. Thanks, Talia.
It feels strange hearing you call me that.
Before I could reply, she hugged me. I'm sorry, Sky. I know I wasn't perfect, but all I ever wanted was to raise you like an actual mother. I'm sorry, too. You did your best. I'm sorry for judging you. Things changed after that. Talia and I started being honest with each other. She and Maverick slowly started rebuilding their relationship. So who knows what the future holds for them? As for Cody, well, he filled a new school magazine with photos of me from the competition, and he's still the best boyfriend ever. And me? I'm still competing and still winning.
Good night, good night. Parting is such sweet sorrow that I shall say good night till it be. Rio de Janeiro! The whole audience burst into laughter. What did I just say? Panicked, I checked the script again. Huh? It did say Rio de Janeiro. Ugh, I know she's behind it. Lisa! She must have messed with my script. You're probs wondering why I didn't run down to the stands and give her a taste of my shoe? Well, it's complicated. You see, Lisa and I used to be best friends. When I was 7, my family moved to this town, and Lisa was my neighbor. Back then, Lisa always seemed lonely, as she didn't have any siblings. Her mom was busy with work, and her dad was away on business. So I often came over to hang out with her, and eventually we became the best of friends. We had so many things in common. Oh, and even her dad was a cop, just like my dad. Lisa never mentioned him, but I know she missed him. But then our 10 years of friendship was recently ruined, just because of some boy. You see, Lisa liked this guy called Brent at school. So being the great friend I am, I tried to help. But Lisa found out that he'd been messaging me and thought that I was flirting with him behind her back. I tried to explain many times, but she refused to listen. So now, I became her reluctant enemy. Her sneaky tricks became commonplace. And on this occasion, she won, as she got the role of Juliet, while I was just a boring maid. On the day of the play, after finishing the final rehearsal, Lisa suddenly walked up to me and smiled. Sorry about the audition. I've been thinking about it a lot and realized how childish I was. Then Lisa handed me a bottle of my favorite juice to make up. Okay, that's strange. Does she have 2 completely different personalities inside her or something? Or did she realize how great of a friend I am not to resent her petty tricks? Anyways, seeing as it was her birthday and all, I happily took the bottle of juice and wished her good luck. However, 15 minutes before the performance, I had the worst cramping pains in my stomach. I sprinted at rocket speed to the bathroom, and by the time I got out of there, the show was pretty much over. And guess what? I hadn't had anything that day, except for the juice Lisa gave me. Unbelievable! She did it to me again! I then rushed into the lounge of the drama club and rummaged through Lisa's bag. Bingo! Inside was a bottle of laxatives. She put it in my drink so I couldn't participate in the show. Ex-best friend or whatever, there's no way I'm gonna let her get away with it this time. Then suddenly, I found a vintage pocket watch sticking out from the innermost compartment of her bag. I held it in my hand and saw that the number 1999 was engraved on it. Why did it look so familiar? Don't touch my father's belongings! A voice sounded from behind me, and the next thing I knew, Lisa snatched the pocket watch from my hand. Why was she angry? I mean, I was the one who got done over, not her. And also, what did she mean by her father? I was still thinking about it when I arrived home, and suddenly saw someone sneaking around outside Lisa's house. Isn't that Dad? My dad looked around and then placed a beautifully wrapped gift in front of her door. It must be Lisa's birthday present, but why didn't he just hand it to her directly? When my dad came back inside, I quickly rushed over to him and asked, Hey Dad, do you remember the pocket watch that you love so much? I haven't seen it for a while. Where did you put it? Dad seemed to be flustered by my question. Then he muttered that he'd sold the watch to a pawn shop. I just nodded, but I knew he was lying, as he treasured that watch too much to ever sell it. Why did he give it to Lisa, then lie to me? Could it be that Lisa is my dad's illegitimate daughter? And the fact that my dad insisted on moving here, was it just so he could be close to his mistress and his child? Ugh! Lisa had stolen my role, and now she wanted to take my dad away from me too. I'd had enough. It's time for me to give her a taste of her own medicine. The next day at school, I made sure Lisa was watching as I flirted with Brent, then linked arms with him. She looked like she was going to explode with anger. Then I told everybody in class that Lisa's father wasn't away on business and that she only said this as he had another family and abandoned her when she was little. The rumors must have gotten back to Lisa, as the next thing I knew, she was confronting me as I walked out of the toilet cubicle. How dare you say that stuff about my dad? You're a horrible liar! Then we ended up in a nasty hair-tugging fight. It was so bad, a teacher had to come in and pull us apart. Then the principal called our parents. Luckily for us, my dad and Lisa's mom decided not to make this a big deal because of our close neighborly relations. Yeah, as if. However, my dad still made me apologize to Lisa and her mom. Ugh. Dad, why do I have to apologize? It's not like she apologized to me for putting laxatives in my drink. You were wrong to spread those untrue rumors about her. But what were the laxatives about? I thought you two were friends. Since when did you guys become this resentful towards each other? I wasn't lying. They're the truth. Are you defending Lisa over me just because you feel guilty that she's your secret daughter? Kirsty, what did you say? I explained how I knew about the watch and therefore I'd figured out his secret. He was silent for a long time, then sighed and said, Actually, Lisa's dad was a colleague of mine. He was a good man who worked hard at his job. We had this difficult case involving a notorious criminal gang and, unfortunately, her dad passed away while on duty. In his last moments, he gave me his pocket watch as a memento and asked me to look after his 4-year-old daughter, Lisa. Her mom and I couldn't break the heart of that little girl, so we said her father was away from home on business and would return when she'd be 18 years old. As for me, I would pretend to be her father to occasionally send gifts and letters to her. When you and Lisa were 7, I decided to move here in order to easily take care of her. And as you know, I gave her that pocket watch, her father's last memento. But why did you lie to her like that? Lisa was too young at that time to accept such an ugly truth. Her mom and I didn't have much choice either. I was expecting her to get used to it and stop waiting for her dad, but it's true that we didn't expect things to be like this. On her last birthday, I continued to play the role of her father and left a present at the door with an apology for not being able to come home due to a busy schedule. But we know we can't keep this from her anymore. It's heartbreaking to see her longing for her dad so persistently. So, it turned out that all my speculations were wrong. Not only that, but I also spread false rumors and hurt my friend. Oh God, what had I done? How could I put this right? That night, I sent Lisa a long text apologizing, but she didn't reply. So the next morning, I waited at her door to go to school together, but she just walked straight past me. Looking at her distraught face, my heart filled with remorse. I just entered the school gate when someone tapped me on the shoulder. Want to go see a play with me tonight? Brent held out 2 theater tickets. Oh, it was for the curious incident of the dog in the nighttime. I was desperate to see that. Back when Lisa and I were still friends, we talked about going to see it. Wait, Lisa. That's right. So I lied to Brent that I was busy and told him to ask Lisa to go with him instead. Lisa looked so thrilled that Brent had asked her out. Now my conscience was clear. Lisa and Brent would realize they liked each other and finally get together properly. Then she'd forgive me, right? Anyway, I did have an essay coming up, so I went to a quiet coffee shop and studied there till late. But when I got home, I walked through the door to smashed up ornaments and the sound of my parents arguing. So you've been lying to me and Kirsty for all these years? How could you have a secret child the same age as your daughter? Aren't you ashamed of yourself? What's going on? Did she know about Lisa? I quickly ran to stop her. Mom, it's not what you think. I thought so too at first. But you have to listen to Dad. Those lies may fool you, but they can't fool me. Lisa is his illegitimate daughter. That poor girl came here and told me. I tried reasoning with Mom, but she was too upset to listen. With a slam of the door, she left. Dad plopped down on the couch and gave a solemn sigh. I sat next to him, comforting him that maybe it was Lisa's misunderstanding. Dad, we have to tell Lisa the truth. I'll approach her first to test the water, and then when she seems to be emotionally stable, you will come and talk to her, okay? The next day, as soon as I arrived at school, I immediately went to look for Lisa. There she was, standing by her locker with her arms folded. I walked over to her, but before I could say anything, she shouted, "Stop acting as if you're that noble! I know Brent only invited me to the theater 'cause you told him to. Why do you wish to embarrass me so much?" Then Lisa burst into tears. "If my dad was still alive, he would protect me from mean girls like you." I gaped at Lisa. She already knew everything? But if so, why did she tell my mom the day before that my dad was also her dad? I stood there, refused to move until she told me the truth. Eventually, she blurted out that on her 18th birthday, she saw my dad leaving a gift in front of her house. Suspecting something was up, she mustered up the courage to ask her mom everything. It devastated her to learn that her long-awaited dad was just totally a made-up lie by my dad. She was full of rage towards my dad and me, so she lied to my mom so we'd know what it felt like to have a broken family. I was furious. How dare she do this to my family? But as she sobbed out an apology, my anger faded right away, and I only felt so sorry for her instead. What she had gone through was really unbearable. I hugged her tightly, and the pair of us cried our eyes out. When we both calmed down, we decided to have a frank talk with our families. I told Lisa I didn't mind sharing my dad with her, as he loves her like his own daughter anyway. But in return, Lisa needed to apologize to my mom and explain everything to her so she'd come back home. So finally, my mom has returned, and our two families are at peace again. "I'm so sorry. I was out of my mind. I didn't mean to hurt you, Mom. Mrs. Lamont." Everyone burst out laughing. I also took the opportunity to give Lisa's mom a big hug and called her my mom, just like Lisa did. We were all chatting away happily when the doorbell rang. Lisa and I both went to open the door and saw Brent standing there holding a bouquet of flowers. He had this bewildered look on upon seeing us both here. But you know what? It doesn't matter which one of us he was looking for. There's no need for a boyfriend right now, 'cause I already have my best friend right here. Or should I say, my sister?
Wow, this cake tastes like heaven. I reached out to grab another piece when I heard a growl behind me. I told you to be graceful, didn't I? Then Mom pulled me over to greet this smartly dressed couple. Ugh, again. They looked me up and down, then said, "I heard that you're a gifted pianist. We would love to hear you play." Huh? Piano? I'd never played it before in my life. Before I could say a word, Mom chimed in. "Unfortunately, Phoebe's just sprained her wrist. Maybe next time." I looked at her confused. Why would she lie like that? Jeez. "Mom, why did you say that I could play the piano?" "Ah, yes. I may have bragged to them that all of my adopted children are excellent." What can I say? All moms boasted about their kids, right? And yep, I'd grown up in an orphanage before Mom welcomed me into her family. This place is pretty grand, huh? I found it overwhelming at first, and ended up getting lost trying to find my room. Luckily, there are plenty of my adoptive sisters around to show me where to go. I do have 10 of them. Yep, you heard me right. 10. It was as if I had just moved from one orphanage to another, only no more orphaned. And we're all similar ages, which is unusual, as foster parents often prefer younger kids. They said us teenagers are rather stubborn. Not to mention how my adoptive dad is never around. Seriously, I couldn't even tell you what he looks like. So it's just us girls here. I got on best with Collins. She's a couple of years older than me, and we share the same bedroom. As much as I liked living with Mom and my sisters, Mom did make us all do strange things, such as wear cheesy clothes and walk in a straight line. Worse still, she forced me to learn the piano. Ugh, I was not at all musical. I just made a right din. She also taught me how to eat properly, but it did kind of feel like a dog training session. I was only allowed to eat when she showed a signal, and by the time I could catch up with how to use the silverwares, the meal was already finished. Ugh. But I suppose that's how every mom teaches her daughter, right? And apparently, Mom didn't have the patience to coach me anymore. So she handed me over to Collins, her star daughter. We spent an hour every day talking together. Or rather, she gave me pointers on how to talk correctly. Colin said I needed to control my volume because I had a tendency to shout my words, and it wasn't very ladylike. I had to whisper at the same volume as her and also choose my words carefully to show intelligence and grace. Ugh, maybe it'd be easier if I just didn't say anything at all from now on. Aside from Colin's, I didn't have a chance to get to know my other sisters, as Mom made each of us pursue a different aptitude. Then we had to perform for her on our monthly assessment. Mom's overall very gentle and caring, but too strict when it comes to training. So we all have to spend a lot of time and effort in practice. One day I was trying to make sense of the music sheet when I heard Lexi complain, "Ugh, why does Mom force me on this mission impossible? So boring." What? At least ice skating is 1,000 times more fun than the piano. If only. An idea popped into my head. That night, I went to my mom and timidly said, "Mom, I want to switch from piano lessons to ice skating. I can exchange with Lexi. What? No. But why? Lexi doesn't even like ice skating. Well, it's because I can see potential in each one of you, so it's impossible to switch." Frustrated, I went back to my room and began whining to Collins, but she thought that it wasn't a big deal. Mom knows what's best for us. Well, that I'm not too sure about, yet we didn't even get to go to school. As Mom said, her homeschooling was enough. While I only found her method rather strange, I've dreamed of this perfect life with an amazing mom, but Mom was never very affectionate. It didn't matter how much we studied or tried to perfect our chosen hobby. She never cuddled or praised us, not even Collins, who's the smartest girl here. I was desperate to impress Mom, so one time I spent ages making this Portuguese appetizer for her, but all she did was take one bite and say it was okay. I asked her if she didn't like me, but she just replied in a growl tone that she was helping us to have a high position in society and a bright life. But I don't need those things. I just wanted her to like me. This place is so stuffy, and the only time that I can actually breathe is when I'm on my Friday morning bread buying errand. Ugh. Then suddenly someone patted me on my shoulder, which startled me so much I dropped my stuff. "Hey, it's really you. But is something wrong with you? Why the strange walk?" "The only thing I'm good at is buying bread, but now you've ruined it. See?" Jet stooped down to pick it up for me. He was still as rude as ever, but I still found myself jealous of this free spirit off him. We used to be a perfect match at our orphanage, and quite embarrassing to admit, but I was very naughty back then, and often shoplifted with him. "You could go steal some more. Remember our tricks?" I have to tell you 3 things. Firstly, I've been adopted. Secondly, my adoptive family is wealthy. And finally, I'm being educated to be a noble lady, so no more stealing. That's ridiculous. I also have 3 things for you. I've been adopted too. My parents love me so much. Oh, and they're cops. We looked at each other and burst out laughing. So we were both caught, weren't we? Jet and I sat down on a nearby bench to catch up, and when I poured my heart out about my new family, he interrupted me. "Sounds strange to me. Why would they only adopt teenage girls? And what are those training lessons and monthly evaluations for?" Then, Jet insisted that he would investigate my adoptive family. That's silly. But anyway, it's fun to reunite with a friend, and we agreed to hang out every Friday after that. And here comes my first assessment. Of course, I couldn't even play a simple melody, so I had to study for 3 more hours every day. My sisters suffered even more. Kinsley was forced to abstain from food because she weighed 2 kilograms more than the standard. In contrast, Willow had to eat continuously at night in order to gain 5 kilograms. If it's to this extent, then it must have not been simply for the sake of the casual boasting of a mom, right? On the next Bread Friday, I told Jet about last week's assessment. He firmly stated that there was a problem with my family. I don't think so, Jet. Mom just wants the best for us. Listen, Phoebe, I think she trained you guys on purpose. Each of you has to be good at a certain subject, just like the shopping orders. Orders? Don't go too far. You know Kobe beef? Cows are made to listen to music, given beer to drink, and massaged, but in the end, you know what the outcome is. Oh no. Is that what this is? Mom always said that she would give us the best life, as long as we worked hard. Were we being tested and stamped like those cows? One day,
I came home to Collins excitedly packing her suitcase. Mom said she's taking me to a new school tomorrow. So Collins was leaving? But where? I'll miss you, sis. Text me when you get there. But days passed without a word from her. I asked Mom, and she said that Collins' hard work paid off, and she'd been accepted into a prestigious school, but they had a strict no phones rule. Huh, that sounded sus. So I told Jet, and he insisted I report the case. Another Friday. Jet and I met at a church near the bakery. Why did he choose this boring place? I was looking around when I saw a group of schoolgirls coming out of the church. They all wore the same dull uniform, had their hair neatly tied back in a bun, and all obediently lined up. Then there I saw her. Collins? I was about to rush over to greet her, but the glare of the woman accompanying her scared me off. This was not right. I'd got to ask Collins what was going on. So I grabbed Jet's arm and went after the group. But they got into a black car and sped away. Maybe they chose this church as a place for their transactions. Smart, huh? They put everyone in school uniforms so no one would suspect them. But seeing those faces, I'm sure they're about to be sent to the black market soon. Black market? The thought alone made me shudder. I had to save Collins. I couldn't let Mom get away with this. That night, I tiptoed downstairs to eavesdrop. Okay, I'll deliver her this weekend. Correct. She's 5'7". She can ice skate, cooking and painting. Of course, I have her trained as required. You won't be disappointed. So the deal goes as planned, okay? See you on Sunday. That's it. The next delivery was Lexi. I checked her room and saw her packing her stuff, a beam of innocent happiness on her face. I quickly texted Jet, and he immediately replied, "Just wait at home calmly. Don't act without thinking. I'll figure something out." That night, I couldn't sleep a wink. I was so terrified something terrible would happen to Lexi. So early the next morning, as soon as I saw Mom and Lexi getting in the car to leave, I snuck into the trunk, lay there without making any sound, and sent Jet the location. The car took a long time to stop. Had we finally arrived at the transaction location? When it seemed safe, I carefully climbed out and saw Mom talking to a fastidious-looking middle-aged woman. What did Mom say that made Lexi so panicked that she kept clutching Mom's hand? The woman handed Mom a rather thick envelope, then grabbed Lexi's hand and dragged her away. God, where was Jet? I couldn't just sit still like this and watch my sister being taken away. Let Lexi go! Now! Phoebe, what are you doing? Stop it. You're going to sell us, aren't you? I already know the truth. What on earth are you talking about, Phoebe? Furious, Mom pulled me away. Stop. Suddenly, 2 cops rushed in, ordering everyone to put their hands up. Behind them was Jet, still panting. Turns out they were Jet's adoptive parents. Help me! Mom is trying to sell me and my sister. Seeing that, the other woman quickly explained, "No, there must be a misunderstanding here. I'm just helping Gianna's daughter to enroll at my school." Bewildered, my eyes darted from Mom to the other woman and then to Jet. In the principal's office, I told everyone why I thought my mom was a human trafficker. They all gasped in surprise. I made you practice that hard just because I want you to get in here, the most prestigious all-girls school, so that you can have a better life. I don't want to go to this school anymore, Mom. She told me all about the harsh rules. This place is terrifying. You can't force your kids to do that. You adopted them, so you have to make them feel safe and loved. Miss Gianna, this is a prestigious school, and it doesn't need your scandal. You led me to believe that your daughters were naturally gifted, which now transpires is all lies. I won't accept any child from your family from now on. No, they're my children. They deserve the best. Then she begged the principal to withdraw her decision, but she firmly shook her head. Suddenly, Mom shouted, "Why? I just want them not to suffer like me, so what's wrong with that?" Then Mom burst into tears. It turns out that in the past, Mom was in love with a politician, but he decided it would further his career if he chose to marry a graduate from this prestigious school instead. Mom loved him so much, she continued to be his mistress. But despite being fully provided for by him, Mom always felt that she was inferior to his official wife, especially when he proudly boasted about his smart wife and talented daughters. Then, when she wanted to start her own family, he wouldn't allow it. In the end, she decided to adopt girls and train them to become excellent so that they could enter this school regardless of their background. So that's the reason why she did this to us. I have to admit, I did feel a bit sorry for her. All of this was probably just to ease the pain of her past. But Mom, we don't want to go to this snooty school. We just want you to love us and protect us. I'm sorry. I was wrong. I was only trying to help. I'm sorry. It's all my fault. Then she hugged me. So, in the end, my sisters and I finally have a truly happy family. Mom doesn't make us do any dumb tasks anymore. Instead, she lets us pursue our own dreams and passions. Now we all go to a public school and live out our normal teen lives. It's wonderful finally having an amazing mom, incredible sisters, and my pretty awesome best friend, Jet, all by my side.